Hello and welcome back, all you beautiful people on the internet. I am A.M. Grabelny. I'm a senior solutions architect. I'm joined here by my friend down here at the end, Gabe, and Pramod from Accenture. I'll let them introduce themselves. But we heard a lot about partners in the keynote today, and I work for the partner network, so I'm a little biased. But partners
You also live in Texas, and you say partner a lot there, don't you?
Yeah, it's our lingo, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it's our lexicon, I think. Yeah, for sure. Partner is
Thanks,
embedded.
partner.
All right. I feel like you're trolling me right now, but okay. So we're here with Pramod from Accenture, which is a solutions integrator, and we'll hear more about what that means and what that is and how the AWS partner network benefits Accenture and how Accenture benefits AWS. But Gabe, introduce yourself, please.
Hey y'all, good morning. My name is Gabe Hollenby. I am a technical evangelist for AWS based out of Singapore, and happy to be here in Vegas for reInvent. And you are?
Hi, I'm Pramod Bijani. I'm the global lead for Accenture's cloud platform. Accenture is a firm which provides digital strategy, consulting, technology, and operation services to our clients, and especially within the cloud space, we help our clients with a holistic approach starting from strategizing and assessment, building the target state architecture, realizing the target state architecture, and also running the applications on cloud. So that's
great. Yeah. SIs exist really to help you build when you as a company maybe aren't versed in building things, or you just need some extra help building a specific project. Is that right?
Yeah.
Great. So you told me earlier we're going to talk a lot about Systems Manager today, right?
Sure.
And Accenture has extensively used Systems Manager for automating a lot of the things that you all do. Is that right?
Yeah, for cloud management functions and operations playbooks is what we automate using Systems Manager.
Awesome. So just for anyone watching who's never actually used Systems Manager, Gabe, you want to tell us about Systems Manager? I can, but we haven't heard from you.
Systems Manager is a service that we provide. It has a suite of tools in it to help you manage a lot of what you might deploy on your AWS infrastructure. Specifically, it helps a lot with EC2 instances that you might be running. You want to monitor them, know the state of their patching, what their memory consumption is, these kinds of things, as well as there are a number of other features. Systems parameter store, app config is something new that we launched recently to help roll out application configuration changes over time. There's a whole lot more. We're not going to get into all that today, but we're going to get a nice overview of what Systems Manager is and how Accenture is putting it to good use for their clients.
Yeah, one of my favorite things too is you can actually just target thousands of servers, even on-prem servers, if you install an SSM agent and run bash scripts, PowerShell scripts arbitrarily on all of these servers.
Now, if you have lots of machines that you are maintaining, and the kind where you want to like SSH in and make changes, Systems Manager is your friend.
Yeah, totally. So tell us a little bit about Accenture and how you all use Systems Manager.
Okay, so essentially Systems Manager is a key component of our cloud management services, because what we see is that one of the key reasons or drivers for cloud adoption is the autonomy that cloud provides to developers and engineers.
That's exactly right. You have the ability to spin up thousands of servers in minutes, which is with great power, but how do we add the great responsibility to make sure we stay on the rails and we don't mess up things for the org, right?
Yeah, exactly, and that is where cloud management enters the play, and it sort of completes the puzzle that enables you to deliver innovations at speed and at scale, but at the same time helps you to fulfill your obligations towards being compliant with your firm's policies, and that's the part we're going to be focusing on today.
Okay.
So the key function of cloud management, which is to scan the estate that is running on cloud against various policies that could entail checks around cost and consumption, security and compliance and performance, and provide a comprehensive feedback loop to the developers and the engineers and to the operations and the enterprise functions, so that we can build trust between the different participants on running our cloud estates in a secure and safe manner.
That's right. As developers, I think we have a reputation sometimes for going a little bit wild, trying out experiments, and maybe not configuring things the way that is the easiest, or we go with the path of least resistance. And sometimes, that means we need to do the extra work to make sure we're falling in line with compliance and regulatory needs.
Exactly, and in order to do it seamlessly, cloud management therefore comes into the play. So cloud management solutions are a set of automation tools and utilities based on principles of self-service, so that policies can also be created with equal degrees of self-service, like how developers can spin up instances. And this automation then enables you to to run these checks in a very efficient manner, as well as ensure that you're providing clear and precise insights on your estate. Now, there are different tools for cloud management.
That's right.
You need to choose the right solution and the approach depending on your scenarios. Are you, for example, single cloud? Are you multi-cloud, or are you hybrid cloud? And what we will talk about today really is how we use Systems Manager as one of these solutions to deliver cloud management features for estates that run on AWS.
Sure. And I know we've got a demo coming up,
Yeah.
which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, we should do the demo. We've got time.
I do want to ask one question real quick. I know you all at Accenture are extensively using automation and run commands, which are both features of Systems Manager, which you can go look into a little more. We won't go into too much depth. But what's the benefit here? Why use run command? Why use automation in Systems Manager?
So run command is what you use. Run commands to update instances or to check whether the instances are running the right versions of software, patches, or inventories. These are commands that you run on instances.
So the idea is I have lots of virtual machines in the cloud, and I want to either run a command to affect a state change on those machines, or get the output of that command to inspect it and analyze it for some reporting purpose.
Gather the inventory of these instances. The advantage of a run command is that you do not need bastions, you don't need to open inbound ports, you don't need to manage keys. Once you have the SSM agent, between the Systems Manager and the SSM agent, the protocols take care of the rest. So you're able to run these run commands in a very secure and controlled manner based on IAM policies. Your second question was, what are automation documents?
Right.
The automation documents are not restricted to instances per se. With automation documents, you can automate your operations playbooks and procedures for different resources that run within your AWS accounts. Examples are, if you have S3 buckets with public access, you can run a automation document to disable that. Or
that's literally the first question as an SA that we ask customers when they first join the partner network. We run them through what's called a baseline. The first question is, do you have any public buckets? Because the answer is almost always yes.
Yeah, and there are good reasons to have a bucket with public access, but the important thing is to know which all of your buckets have public access, and Systems Manager can help with that too.
Yeah, exactly, and therefore you can target your resources and instances based on tags or conditions, so that you don't apply a one-size-fits-all approach to all your resources, and you can have specific conditions based on which you trigger your automation.
So do you think we can jump over to the demo and look a little bit into what, you've created some inventories, you've been utilizing automation documents and run command. Let's look at some of this stuff. I'd love to see it.
Okay, so we go to the Systems Manager where I'll have to launch this. This network is not
Let's
working.
see if our network is
is
working here.
Yeah, the network is not.
We may have network issues here.
I think it would help if it was plugged in, actually.
And try that one instead.
That's solving on the fly. There you go.
Now we're plugged in twice, so it's redundant.
This is double Ethernet.
Sorry?
Let's
see how this works now. Hopefully it'll. Yeah.
Hey, oh my God.
You did it, Am.
This is why I work in IT.
Good job, partner.
So,
I don't know. I don't know if you could say partner or not yet.
So what we will demonstrate is exactly on your questions, two features of Systems Manager. One is, how do you manage instances with Systems Manager? That is VM instances. And then talking about how can you do automation at scale across a number of resources. Now the thing is, if you go to the Systems Manager compliance dashboard, it gives you clear insights into the, the compliance of your VM's estate.
Right, and what defines that compliance?
So these compliances are based on the rules that you create. You
Right.
can define what is a compliant state of an instance.
Yep.
Systems manager applies that compliance automation to your instance to get it to that state. Should the automation go through, you are compliant. If it doesn't, you're not compliant.
So let's see what some of these examples of non-compliance are here.
Okay, so let's take an example of patching. So
Yep.
if you see patching, you can see you're seeing a few non-compliant resources.
Yep.
And
we can drill down in and
you
we can
drill
see
down
what's wrong
and-
about them.
And into this particular instance, and as we are saying, there are 157 updates needed, but there are only 147 applied. So we'll go and see what is missing, which is what we typically would like
Okay,
to look
yep.
for, and it gives you precise list of what are the patches that were in your compliance baseline, but are not applied to these instances, so that
Right, so these are a bunch of libraries and packages that
Exactly.
we've already set up saying, I want the latest versions of these on my systems. They're not here.
Yeah, not just the latest, you can even specify precise
Sure,
functions. you
I
need
imagine
to.
so.
Okay, so this is the compliance function. I'll go to some other facets around the compliance also. So there are two types of compliances. One is associations. When you talk about associations, these are the states in terms of the softwares and the configurations that should be on your instances, and patching is a special type of a configuration.
Yep.
Now, what we can show is, what is a very important feature of System Manager is the ability to collect inventory of the instances. Now, Systems Manager is something where you have one instance running per account per region. So while it gives you the list of instances, but another powerful feature it has is called the resource data sync, with which I can aggregate my inventories
Across from all my
account,
accounts.
cross regions, and check for compliance
Yep.
across the board, which is another.
So we can have Systems Manager export its state about compliance
Exactly.
and whatnot into an S3 bucket,
Yes.
where we
Yes.
can aggregate that from all of our Systems Managers.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
I just want to say too, in this world of serverless functions and Kubernetes, a lot of this seems like, I don't have to worry about this management anymore. But there are companies, like vast amounts of companies still managing servers, right? And I know we're just clicking around in the console and it looks very easy, but it's not. Like, this is not an easy process. But a tool like Systems Manager is really impactful in the sense that I'm not going and collecting these inventories manually, right?
You don't have to write that
automating it.
scripting
Tasks,
yourself. Exactly.
right? I mean, I don't think we talk about that enough. You know what I mean? Like, these are some
Systems
serious.
Manager is one of the workhorses of
I love
AWS.
Systems Manager,
Yeah,
honestly.
So to answer your question, this is using an association. You define what is the expected state of your instance, and then the execution history is also what you can trace from here to see something has failed. Then you can get further forensics and insights on why would something have failed and then you can go and further trace into your configurations and determine what went wrong, and you can fix it. Another facet you may want to notice is when you talk about associations, these are linked to the run commands, that it's a framework for you to orchestrate your run commands, wherein you can provide parameters to your run command, you can define targets based on tags, you can either run it on a one-off basis or you can schedule it using
What's really great about this is it also helps formalize the types of interactions that you can have when you're doing a run command on your servers, right? Because the danger oftentimes is you don't want anybody to just be able to SSH into machines and run arbitrary commands. This puts some really nice guardrails in place and framework where you can say, these are the types of commands we want to be able to run across our fleet with these already pre-written and templatized. So
Yeah,
exactly.
to keep the theme in Texan, right? It's so often true that teams just cowboy or cowgirl into a server
I like
and
what you
just
did there.
go rogue, do whatever they want, and there's no maybe audit trail even, right? Like just maybe there's Unix history there, and
Exactly.
that's all that you have to see what somebody did. But this really lets you solidify that experience and stuff.
It codifies all the best practices into
Exactly.
a tool so that you don't have to do that. You can stay within the framework of doing healthy engagements with your instances by using a tool like this?
Sure. It also, you can also run Ansible playbooks with your.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Look, I just learned something live on stream.
We extensively use Ansible playbooks, and like for example, for this, if you want, you can even see the output of your Ansible playbook that you've run over here. All the different steps you can see, and you can, this step which has failed, you can go and see its output, and you can see why the Ansible command.
And by the way, for folks who don't know what Ansible is, it's a pretty popular tool for doing these kinds of deployment management or instance management and configuration. The thing you would run to sort of bootstrap whatever your virtual machine needs to do with all the appropriate software.
Yeah. If you want to spend a moment on automation, you could see, as you can see, there are different kinds of automation documents that you have. As you can see, they are categorized very neatly into the ones which you would use for remediation, security compliance.
Nice.
And as you can see, this is not specific to an instance. You can use automation for making changes to any kind of resources, remediating them, or performing any operations task.
That's right.
On those
it's not
resources.
just about instances.
Another feature is the integration with CloudWatch.
This will be the last one we have time to show.
Yeah, sure.
Just heads
Yeah.
up for you.
So if you see, this has got, if you look at any such automation document, you can very quickly integrate it with CloudWatch, and you can, when you do your CloudWatch integration, you can even integrate it with things such as config and config rules. So if you go to config, you can check your config rules compliance, and if you are missing any compliances based on that, you can trigger your required automation documents to either flag
That's
off
nice.
the
So there's a
issue
lot
or-
of that sort of glue code already built in as well.
Exactly. That is why it becomes very convenient.
Thank you for showing that.
Yeah, well, Pramod, thank you for joining us. Accenture, always a great partner to hear from, and really excited that you've been using Systems Manager so extensively. And thanks for coming on stream. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
See ya.
Thank you.